Okay, let's start this tutorial. If anybody is wondering how I got this picture, this was taken with my 5D Mark II with the 85mm 1.2 Canon lens. It's my favorite lens for portraits, and that's what I mostly use for my portraits. And this was shot in the studio with continuous ring light. And yeah, as I said before, I'm just going to show you guys step by step what I do usually to most of my portraits. So the first thing that I do is usually I go to image, adjustments, and curves, and I like to just curve it up just a tiny bit to give it a little bit more contrast. And just like this, I press OK. Okay, now we're gonna zoom in. And I'm gonna make sure there's no blemishes. Okay, she has pretty clear skin, but I see just few tiny blemishes that I want to get rid of. So my favorite tool for blemishes is a patch tool. It's right over here. If you right click on it, you can see there's a bunch of different ones that you can use. There is spot healing brush, there's a healing brush tool, and there's a patch tool, and that's the one that I like to use. So the way it works is that you circle it up like this, then you make a selection, and then you drag it to the place where you want it to copy the part of the skin that you want to replace it with. So let's say here's another little blemish, and I want to drag it over here where the skin is clear, so it's going to copy the part of skin and it's going to make it clear. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing, just in a few spots where I think it just doesn't look very good. I mean, these spots pretty much look like her freckles, but some of them I don't really like around her nose and around her lips, so I'm just gonna take these out. And again, she doesn't have a lot of blemishes or anything like that, so it's nice that I don't have to edit much. Now the second thing that I'm going to edit is a lot of people have dark circles. Again, she doesn't really have any dark circles, but it still has a little bit of the darkness underneath the eye that I want to get rid of. And again, I'm going to use the patch tool for it. So you want to select the whole area, don't select the eyelashes, and you want to drag it down. Same thing on the other side. It just lightens up a little bit the eye. Here in the inner corner, I don't like this little thing. And right over here on the forehead, just little blemishes. Now you guys, this tutorial might be a little bit longer because I'm literally just dragging you with all the things that I do in the portrait, and sometimes my portrait work the editing work can take a while, like an hour, 2 hours. Alright, so I'm pretty much done with the blemishes here. Yeah, as I said, she didn't have a lot. I'm just gonna deselect that patch tool. Now here, if you guys watched my highlighting and shadowing tutorial, you know what I'm going to be doing here. If you guys haven't seen it, watch it. I'm going to link it down below as well. But I'm going to just quickly show you again what I do. So you duplicate the layer, as I always do. Alright, we're going to go into image, adjustments, curves, and I'm going to drag it down right over here so it creates a nice shadow. Press OK. Then we're gonna create a layer mask by clicking this window right here. Then with Ctrl I, we invert it, so you can see the picture went back to normal, and then all that shadow is in the brush. So you pick up the brush. I'm gonna make it just a little bit bigger, and I'm gonna start shading. And what I usually do is I shade around the face to make it slimmer, more elongated, and just in any spaces that you would usually get the shadow falling on the person. This makes any picture more 3D, more realistic. If you don't have a full frame camera, this is a great tool to use on your pictures to make it look more realistic and more 3D. Okay, so I outlined the face and the body. Now I'm gonna outline. I usually do it on the eyebrows. I also do it along the lash line to make the lashes look a little bit bigger. Here we go. Alright, now with a smaller brush that I still have, I'm going to outline the lips. This helps the lips look plumper. And I'm also going to line the nose, which makes the nose look slimmer. Now, if you feel like you went a little bit too far, you can always grab your eraser and erase the spots where you just didn't like it so much. I just thought I went a little bit too crazy on the nose, and I'm just taking it down a notch on the sides. Alright, so let's back up and see what we got here. And when you press this little eye over here, it just shows you the before and after. As you can see, it's pretty dramatic. So I still have that shadow layer on my brush, so I'm gonna go ahead and darken some spots on her hair. So I really like to play it up in the hair as well. So whenever you see there's some shadow on the hair, especially when it's curly, it's gonna make the curls stand out even more. So I'm just going ahead with my brush again, and whenever I see a nice curl, I'm just putting some shadow in it. And I'm going to show you guys here in a minute how it looks. And yeah, the hair just looks so shiny and nice and beautiful. Alright, so I'm going to merge these layers. So I'm going to play up with the highlight layer, and again I'm just going to duplicate the layer right here. I'm going to go to image adjustments, curves, and right in the middle I'm going to drag it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm just gonna duplicate the mask right here, Control I to invert it. I'm gonna zoom in on her face. This picture is pretty bright, so I'm not gonna be using this highlight layer too much, but I'm gonna apply it a little bit on the lips, again to make it plumper. On the bridge of her nose, I'm gonna apply it just underneath her brow, a little bit on the chin, right underneath her eyes to make it brighter, and just right here slightly, and maybe just a little bit on her forehead. Okay, oops, zoomed in too much. Okay, so as you can see, it gives it a little bit of the difference, not too much, just a tiny bit. Now I'm gonna play it up with the hair. So same thing, whenever I saw a place where light hits the curl, I'm gonna go ahead and highlight it, and it's gonna make the hair just look so luscious and beautiful. And just a little bit on the arm. Just gonna make the brush a little bit bigger for the arm. Alright. Here you go, there is the highlight. So the next thing I usually do is I play with the liquifying filter for a little bit. I don't do too much. Just changing these little things makes a big difference. So I'm going to show you guys how I do it. Again, I'm going to duplicate the layer. And I know, a lot of people say, why do you have to duplicate layers so many times and then you merge it when you can use just layer mask? But that's the way I do it, and that's the way it's easier for me. So, yep, it's just the great thing about Photoshop. You can do the same things in so many different ways. I just prefer to do it this way. So over here in filter, you're gonna find Liquify. and just takes a little bit, and then it takes you to this little window. So I'm gonna zoom in just a tiny bit on her face. I'm gonna take this hand right here, and as you can see, it has this like sphere on it, right? And right over here it has the brush size. I'm gonna take it up just a little bit. Now what I want to change is I want to make the nose just a tiny bit slimmer, just a tiny bit, and you just drag it inwards, and you can see it drags the nose. Now the eyes, I'm gonna make them a little bit bigger by just dragging up. Here you go. And then for the lips, I always do it. You drag it up and down just a little bit to make them a little bit plumper. Now this is really subtle, like I'm doing this just tiny bit. Now I do the same thing sometimes on the sides of the face, just to kind of make it a little bit slimmer. Okay, so I'm just gonna press OK, and we're gonna see how it looks. So I'm gonna press the eye, and you can see the difference. Subtle difference, but it just makes it look so much more magical. Alright, so the next I'm gonna go again to this Liquify filter, and now I'm gonna work on the hair. I'm gonna make my brush just a little bit bigger, and I'm gonna drag the hair up, and I'm gonna make it just bigger and more voluminous. This always just adds so much to the picture. Oh, another thing, you have to be careful not to drag something else that you don't want. If you're really not careful with it, you can always grab this freeze mask right here, which whenever the red goes, it's gonna freeze it, and no matter what, even if you touch it, it's not gonna smudge, it's not gonna liquefy it. So yeah, I'm gonna make this hand a little bit smaller. Also, yeah, the key to the liquefying tool is just to be subtle and not to overdo it, because otherwise it's just gonna look so fake, and nobody's gonna believe you that you got so thin, or your eyes got so big, or your lips got so plump and stuff like that. So just be subtle. I'm gonna show you guys here the whole difference that it made. Subtle little differences. I'm gonna merge these layers down. Alright, so now I noticed that I want to make those freckles pop a little bit more. So I'm going to duplicate the layer again here. Press OK. I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Curves. And now we're going to go to almost the very top right over here. And I'm going to just click it down. This takes all the shadows and kind of makes them darker and stuff like that. I'm gonna again create the layer mask, Control I, and it's all in my brush now. And I'm just gonna go over those places where I want pretty much those freckles to stand out. And then some spots was just a little bit too much. I'm just gonna take it out in a few spots. Like around her nose right here. Okay, let's see. Okay, you can see that her freckles are definitely more prominent here. Okay, maybe just gonna frame the face with it a little bit more even. Okay, let me see. Alright, I like it, so I'm just gonna merge the layers. So, now that we're pretty much done, I'm gonna play with colors, which is my favorite thing to do. Her hair is actually a lot more red, so I'm gonna bring back that red color And we're gonna play with the eye color a little bit more just to make it more vibrant. So the first thing, I'm just gonna change the whole tonality of the picture. So I'm gonna go to image, adjustments, and I'm gonna go to selective color right here. It's on reds right now, which is what I need. I'm just gonna go to yellow and I'm gonna drag it to the right side right here, which pretty much makes the yellow tones more red. And then I'm gonna actually darken it up as well. So on the black right here, yeah, you drag it the same way, just a little bit. Maybe I'm gonna make it even more red, just like this. Right now I'm gonna go to neutrals and I'm gonna do the same thing, which this makes it a little bit warmer. Oops. And then I'm gonna drag it a little bit this way, just a tiny bit, and it makes it a little bit more neutral again. So I like this tonality the best, and you can see how it changed. It's not that pinkish tone anymore. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and merge these layers. I'm gonna duplicate the layer again because now I'm gonna be working with the hair. I'm gonna go again to adjustments, selective color. I'm gonna leave it at red, and if you switch it this way, it's getting a lot more red. I'm gonna change it, and again a lot more red. So let's make it a little bit darker as well. Okay, that's perfect. I like it like this. It's gonna be really red and vibrant. So I'm gonna create the mask and invert it with Ctrl I. I'm gonna pick up my brush and I'm gonna go ahead and paint it all over her hair, making it this vibrant red color, which I really like. I'm never super neat with these kind of applications. I don't go like right into every hair on her. Yeah, I don't go like right into every single little detail, which I probably should have, like right here on this arm, or hand, whatever. Sorry, I'm foreign. So like right here, because it does transfer the color on the skin like it did over here just a little bit, which would be taking back. Now you can also do it probably on the eyebrow, which I'm gonna see if I like. I don't think I'm gonna like it. I think it's way too red. Let's see. Yeah, I don't like it at all, so I'm gonna actually take it down. And if you do a mistake like this, I mean, it's fine. You can always just erase it. Alright, so let's back it up and see. Beautiful. I love it. Just missed a spot over here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and merge it. Alright, so we're almost done. Every portrait is gonna have its own little details that you want to work on. I just want to change up the color of her eyes just a little bit. I'm just gonna go to selective color right here. I'm gonna check the green, and I want to make it greener and darker. Like this. I might go to color balance, make it cooler, just like this. I want to really just stand out, like be super green. I'm just playing with colors here a bit. And I'm also gonna go to curves, and I'm just gonna brighten up just a tiny bit, just like this. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead, create a mask, Ctrl I, and I'm gonna get a tiny little brush, and I'm just gonna paint it over the eyes. Alright, let's see if it doesn't look too fake. Sometimes it just looks weird. Okay, I like it. It's green and nice. So now I'm gonna go to filter. I'm gonna go ahead and sharpen up the image. So I take the sharpen right here and then unsharp mask. I have some settings on for previous pictures that were kind of rough. So usually I go around 1.5 on the radius. And on my amount, I don't want it to get too heavy. Yeah, just around right here. And I'm gonna press OK. So now our image is a lot sharper than it was. And the last thing I'm gonna do, which I don't normally do, but I'm gonna do it here just to show you guys. I'm gonna duplicate the layer. I'm gonna go into filter again and noise, and I'm gonna add some noise. Usually people want to take out the noise out of the picture, but I like actually adding some noise. Alright, so we're gonna go with this amount. Alright, and I actually don't want the noise on the face, so I just want to kind of going outwards. So we're gonna take an eraser. I'm gonna leave some of the grain, so I'm gonna take the opacity about to 85%. I'm gonna take a pretty big brush. Alright, and we're gonna take it out just in the middle, just like this. But it still leaves that nice gradient just around, you can see right here. Alright, so I'm just gonna merge these layers and we are pretty much done. So I'm just gonna show the before picture right here and after. As you can see, it's a pretty drastic difference between before and after. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Leave me any questions that you have, or if you want me to make a tutorial about something else, just let me know.